Morning rush. It's kind of stupid to play Arkansas at home in a midweek game this season. 12-0 is where they finish against Missouri State and some of the other opponents they have played in Baum-Walker Stadium on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And it hasn't exactly all been sisters of the poor. I mean, Texas Tech came in here, gave you a run here and there. Missouri State has a good ball club. Final year for Keith Gooden. It's been there since the 80s, man. It's been quite some time. I don't think you'll see him anytime soon. Again, maybe get matched up in postseason, but that is a team that is no slouch, no joke, and you beat them again 8-5 yesterday. You've got a good record overall at 39-7. So plenty of good things to say about this Arkansas baseball program. Allow me, though, on a Too Stupid Thursday, to tell you about the Glizzy Gladiator, a fan for the New York Mets that decided yesterday in a Mets matchup. I can't remember who they're playing, but it was $1. And this was on Tuesday, $1 hot dog night. And he wore this shirt. If you've ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he wore this shirt like they did with Wade Boggs, where they're counting the beers on their shirt. Every time they drink a beer, they draw a Sharpie line and count up the beers. Well, he did it with both hot dogs and glizzies. And in the ninth inning, people start throwing hot dogs at him, and he's at a 10-9 edge, where the amount of beers and hot dogs, again, are at 10-9. I think the hot dogs were up 10-9 over the beer, so he ate 10 hot dogs and 9 beers, and because of the ruckus and the commotion, he ended up escorted out by security because fans were throwing hot dogs at him and it was causing a commotion. I'm disappointed in the Met security staff. I think it's stupid that they ejected him late at the inning and they escorted him out. But it's the Mets. So what do we expect, Tommy? Cubs. Okay. Yeah. Well, in this case, they're a Buck, so the fans weren't that bad. Well, here's my thing. I see the dollar hot dog, and I'm thinking to myself, with all the different promotions that go on at Baum-Walker Stadium, all the giveaways, I don't think I've ever heard of them doing this. This has got to be something that the University of Arkansas and the athletics department does. I realize that you've got one final weekend series against Mississippi State, and you'll have postseason play, which they're definitely not going to sell dollar hot dogs. They're going to try and grab all the money they can from you. But maybe next year, in 2025, you do dollar hot dogs sometime during a midweek game or something. A game that won't be as highly attended. You give people incentive because for whatever reason, dollar hot dogs get people in midweek out to the ballpark. It's embarrassing. Yeah, most of the time when and yeah, I think about when we were talking about this yesterday. I think maybe Chuck referenced it earlier in the week. I think about Vanderbilt football. I would never go to Vanderbilt for a variety of reasons. I had buddies that went there, and while they got a good education, I mean, that school just sucks. They have no business being in the SEC. Congrats on being the nerds of this conference and holding up that banner because you don't provide anything else, with the exception of Tim Corbin's baseball program and athletics. But you think about those football games, and Arkansas has been there before. And I think about even like 2011, how there was a good chunk of Arkansas fans there for what ended up being a really good game that day. We're lucky to escape with the win. But that stadium, each and every time, has more SEC fans than the home fans. And it's so, if I was a player or I was a coach, I would just be, I'd lose before even I walked out the field because there's no fan support. I think Sam Pittman, I remember him saying this, and it was a hype video before the Texas game back in 2021. It's like, he goes, they're not selling out the stadium because they don't believe you're going to win. They think you're going to win. And then kick Texas' ass that night. So I think Vanderbilt fans know they're not going to win. They don't show up to games. Other SEC fan bases do because Nashville's going to be a good time. And I guess Philadelphia fans don't think they're going to beat the Knicks, even though they won Game 5 the other night.
Boston closed out Miami. The whole reason that we get a little further down the line of the playoffs, but it is for a town and a city. I should say town, it's a city. Known for being the imposing place to go, regardless of team, regardless of season, right? You don't want to go in there and mess with Eagles fans. You don't want to go in there and mess with Sixers fans. That's kind of the identity of that town. And it's playoff basketball.
Yeah.
And you can't sell out your arena when you're known as the toughest city in America from a fan standpoint. Kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I think it is too. And for Philadelphia, you think about the Flyers, the Phillies, the Eagles. I mean, those fan bases, and I've got a buddy that's from there that lives here in Northwest Arkansas in Rogers, and he's diehard all 4 Philly teams. And he has been so angry. I mean, he can't get up there and fly to Philly right now, but he's been texting his family, he's been texting his friends, just irate why they haven't been able to fill that arena. And Philly, I mean, it's not like Philly doesn't have proud basketball heritage. Dr. J, Julius Erving's one of the best players ever, top 50 of all time. You think about the battles that him and Larry Bird had back in the 80s. I mean, Allen Iverson, too. I mean, there's been some prominent players that have come through that organization, and I know they love Joel Embiid, and yet this team just can't, for whatever reason, get people to attend their games. Or you also have to give credit to the New York Yankees that just really, really want to get back into their prominence, too.
All right, so let me dial this in locally because Arkansas plays Kentucky this weekend in baseball. Outside of basketball, Arkansas and Kentucky has never been a big rivalry in much of anything. Bobby Petrino didn't like Kentucky, probably still doesn't because of his days at Louisville, but is this weekend, because you've got a meaningful series on the line, because of Calipari coming to Arkansas, all of these things kind of melting in the pot together? Do we see a little more across-the-board rivalry begin this weekend or ratchet up this weekend? Does that happen?
Yeah, and I've forgotten the Kentucky Derby's this weekend. I know it's not in Lexington, but I think some of the focus in Kentucky is going to be on that too. So if it wasn't that weekend, Tommy, or this weekend, I think all of it would be focused, but it is going to take a good chunk of that state's focus this weekend.
Well, we don't have a date yet on the Arkansas-Kentucky basketball game, and the baseball's on the road this weekend. But, hey, if you're making plans to come up to Northwest Arkansas when Arkansas plays Kentucky or any of those great games that are going to be on the football schedule this year, or even in the basketball season, stay at the Inn at the Mill. That's where Ty and I stay when we need a room in Northwest Arkansas. We love the massive oversized suites, the high-speed internet, the free European breakfast that starts today. It is awesome. Convenient location just off exit 69 at the Johnson exit, and you'll love the personal touch you get from the staff there as well. 479-443-1800 is their number. 443-1800, or look online at inatthemill.com.
Era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorbacks!
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Hey, Wits.
Billy, hay is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm going to order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm going to use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em, some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup. And they come right to the river's edge when I call them, too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
And I'm starting to like you.
You're the one. First pitch, a drive by Holt to left field. Back goes Gallard to the wall. Third home run for Peyton Holt this year.
Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963.
Mr. Holt now hitting .333 on the season, starting to pick it up a little bit as he's been inserted to the outfield in various positions. A guy that is in the back line, the back of your order that you really like to give some juice to that. We know Peyton has come up big for this baseball team the last 2 years, hoping he can be that same type of player in the postseason. So you close out your midweeks. We'll talk about that coming up. Also want to tell you what Daniel Gafford and the Dallas Mavericks did last night, just pulverizing Los Angeles Clippers in Game 5, Tommy.
All right, brought to you by the Fence Man this morning. They are adding to their team right now If you've got fence building experience, construction experience, welding experience, or you want to learn the craft and the skills of building high-quality fences, gates, powered automatic gates, controlled access systems, the Fence Man is the leading company in the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas, and they're looking to add to their team. If you want to be a part of a winning team and a great company that loves and takes care of their employees, provides you everything you need to do top-quality work, the Fence Man's where you need to go and sign up to be a part of their team. 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith is where you can apply. That's 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
So if you missed it, Peyton Stovall, mentioned just Peyton Hull. Let's talk about another Peyton. Peyton Stovall goes 5 for 5 yesterday. It was fantastic. He did that back in 2002 against the Auburn Tigers in the College World Series, where he was a true freshman. This is a guy that's going to get drafted, not as high as Hagen Smith, but probably your second or third best prospect on this baseball team. And Peyton was just wheeling and dealing yesterday. Here's his head baseball coach on what he saw.
Well, I had a couple of hits that, were C&I type hits, and he hit a couple really hard. And, he's hit some balls hard that have been caught, and it's good to see. Good to see he got that 5th hit. Solid line drive to center, didn't try to do too much. And I don't know, he's got a good swing, and when he gets good pitches and gets ahead in the count, he can hurt you a little bit.
We saw him as a true freshman. It took him a lot. It kind of took him towards postseason. Then he got hot. I mentioned the Auburn game. We saw him injured this past season and the front part of this season. Now he's healthy. He's hitting .350. He's got 30 RBIs, 7 home runs. Tommy, he is as important a ball player to this team as Hagen Smith or anyone else on this roster.
Oh, absolutely. And, but the depth of this roster, even in his absence earlier in the year, provided you with a good look as to how good this team really could be without one of its better players. But you know what? He performed like a leadoff hitter, and not 5 for 5 is not, an unusual out-of-this-world performance.
Yeah. It's
a midweek performance, but, heck, that was Arkansas's 39th win. They're 39-7 now. Chuck will be here in a minute. I don't remember, and maybe I'm just forgetting some of these recent years where they have won 30-plus home games, but to have 3 weekends of SEC play to go, to be on the doorstep of, what will likely be at some point this weekend your 40th, maybe your 41st win, don't get greedy and talk about a sweep against a team like Kentucky, is pretty resounding. I don't think Arkansas has reached 50 wins before in the total season. We'll ask Chuck about some of that, but I think it's the record is an indication, of course, of how good this team is, but how quickly they're approaching 40 wins is pretty remarkable to me.
And you got 3 straight ranked weekends, right? Yep. You go to Lexington, top 10 matchup. You come home against Mississippi State, top 25, and then you travel to College Station. And Dave Van Horn kind of put it as this, and I got a kick out of listening to Peyton Stovall talk about it too. In fact, actually, let's hear what Peyton had to say first, because Peyton really, he kind of sounded like a coach here. Listen to what Stovall had to say about this upcoming weekend against the Cats.
Yeah, I think just taking it game by game and not making the moment bigger than it is. Obviously Kentucky's a really good team, and they've played well all year, and they're just like pretty much every team in the country, they're probably better at home, and so it's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to it. But don't try to make it bigger than it is. Just take it pitch by pitch, and I think we've done a good job of that this year, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
He's got a lot of baseball left in him. I don't think there's any doubt, any pushback on that. This guy's going to be playing pro ball for quite some time, but that's a future coach response right there. I'm listening to Peyton say that. I was like, he might have some coaching in his future.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Dave Van Horn's coaching record real quick, and I don't think they won 50 games in 2021, 50-13 the final record.
Yeah, didn't lose an SEC series.
Right.
Won the tournament.
That's the only time they've in season total had 50 wins. Now, he did it at Nebraska once, twice in fact, in 2000 and 2001, and then at Central Missouri, but so, I mean, there's a lot of 40s in there. A lot of seasons where he's had 40-something wins, and we're talking about the season total. But 39-7 right now with 3 weekends to go is a torrid pace.
Don't be the 73 8-9 Warriors. Don't be the, I think it was 2010 New England Patriots, 19-1 New England Patriots. And you've said that all the regular season accolades, all this other stuff's great. Like, it's awesome, and it's been a big part of this season the last few years. Kind of like Cal's had some really good seasons in Lexington the last few years, but it's about what you do in the postseason. You're going to host a regional. If you win that, unlike last year, you're going to host a super. If you win that, you're going to Omaha. And that's where you need to wind up this year. That is the expectation for fans. I don't think every fan thinks that they're going to win the whole thing. I do. 64, 94, 2024. It's in prophecy. It's written. It just needs to be fulfilled. But I think the majority of fans think that this team should be in Omaha this next year. If you get to that, I think you will reach fans' expectations. Whether right or wrong, that's the feeling.
It doesn't really matter, but just stop and think about this for a minute of where, if you end up fulfilling your expectations of where you'll end up record-wise. You're 39 now. Let's just say you win 2-4. Let's just say you win 5 of the last 9. Let's not get greedy, right? So that puts you at 44. Win a game, maybe lose a game, maybe win 1 or 2 in the SEC tournament. That puts you at 46, just say. Then you've got to win 3 in the regional to get to the supers. There's 49. You got to win 2 in the supers, 51. If you made it and did what we think is possible this year, you're talking about 55 or so plus wins to win a national championship. That would be an unbelievable number of wins, but that's what they're on the pace to do if they can fulfill what we think is the potential of this team. So that, could end up with what would be more than a record-setting year as far as total number of wins.
No question about it.
I'm just playing it out in my head, just talking out loud, but without even getting greedy down the stretch in these last 9. I'm just saying 5. And I think we'd all, whether we like it or not, you'd take 5 wins right now and be done. I mean, I'm not as interested as others about trying to win everything here. Win the West, and if A&M wins it, fine. Win the SEC regular, we don't, fine. I don't care about any of that. I really don't.
It would be my whole thing on this has been it'd be cool to win the final SEC West division title ever, which starting next year, no divisions, football, basketball, baseball. I think that's cool. It's not the most significant thing in the world, but nope. I just think it would be cool to close out this tenure of the SEC doing it with this baseball program. All right, Chuck Barrett's going to join us next. We're going to get some thoughts from him. Baseball team, basketball additions, plus what's going on with some Pro Hogs next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from tuning.
This is Governor Asa Hutchinson, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, this is Landon Jackson, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in Conway and Fort Smith.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Wits Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Wits Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria has always been a staple of downtown Fort Smith, as has the Steel Horse Rally, which is in town this weekend. So if you're riding around on Friday and Saturday and you're looking for great pizza, drinks, and more, stop by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith. Get your official Steel Horse Rally charity cup for just $5, and you can use it at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Are you ready for some football? Well, the 2024 Brandon Burlsworth football camps will be here soon. Learn the game of football from Razorback greats at these half-day camps that are open to students aged 7 to 15 years old. Camp dates are May 31st at FS Garrison Stadium in Harrison and June 1st at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. Early registration is just $45. And remember, enrollment is limited. So register today at BrandonBurlsworth.org.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
What if you were driving down the road and there was a sign on the side of the road that says, Ty Richardson sucks?
I'd laugh.
Or, Ty, shut up and let somebody else talk. Wouldn't you, perhaps be inclined to, wonder what the deal is?
I have thick skin, Chuck. Just roll off my back and take it off. But evidently, Tepper has thin skin.
So for those who don't know what we were talking about earlier this week, Dave Tepper, one of the biggest clown owners in all of sports, took off this kid's hat when he walked into a restaurant. And they have changed that sign since then. It said, hats off to the Carolina Pits.
That's good.
So they're playing along with it a little bit, but that's the latest update. So that's what we got to start with. Chuck's going to join us. Got some thoughts. Daniel Gafford, big game last night, including one of the plays of the playoffs thus far. and also some baseball and some basketball close to home in Fayetteville, talking about what John L. Davis brings to this Arkansas basketball program.
The funniest thing in there is you think you've got thick skin.
I do have thick skin. I have to deal with you clowns each and every week. It's easy.
We're trying to toughen you up a little bit.
Well, it's part of it, man.
We're brought to you by making you grow up a little bit. Brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate job openings. If you're in Yellville right now, or Mountain Home, or Harrison, or you're in Elkins, or Centerton, or somewhere in northwest Arkansas, in Benton or Washington County, there's a job nearby, one of their quarries, one of their concrete facilities and plants, their road construction crews. These are great paying jobs with a great company that offers great benefits, a high-quality work environment, and a team where you've got upward mobility. You can move up within this company. It's an international company, and you're going to really like the opportunities they've got. You can go to jobs.crh.com. Whatever your skill set, you'll find the right fit for you. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Chuck, what's going on this Thursday, man?
Well, Ty, I was just waiting to talk to you. Just looking forward to being on with you today. How are you?
What a way to start your day.
I'm in a really good mood,
it's
man.
It's like Folgers in your cup.
Second cup of honey coffee. I've done this new thing, Chuck. I do honey in my coffee now, and I'm going to throw some cinnamon in it starting next week. But it has been a joy. It's been a new adventure, I guess, in the mornings nowadays.
I bet Ty doesn't even know the old Folgers jingle. Do you know the old Folgers jingle? Probably one of the best ad jingles ever written.
I know what the coffee container looks like, but no, I don't know the jingle itself.
It was a great tagline jingle. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. So that's what you should be for me and Chuck. The best part of us waking up is Ty Richardson. I can't make that
It's
rhyme.
still the coffee part
It's
for
still
me.
the coffee.
I mean, no disrespect to you guys. I mean, I do enjoy visiting with you in the morning, but I enjoy drinking my coffee and not visiting with you at first.
That was almost believable.
Then coming on and I enjoy visiting with you after I've had my coffee, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, you're getting enough energy right now from this Arkansas basketball program. Yes, you still probably want your coffee, but it's giving you more. I know we're way out till October and November, really, when basketball season gets it going. But you sign John L. Davis. Now, to clarify this, he can technically still pursue NBA stuff, so it's not a done deal just yet. But in some people's minds, Chuck, this is the biggest signing of the transfer class, and you got to be happy about this. Here's Jeff Goodman, who works for Field of 68, also I think does stuff with Watch Stadium still. Here's what he said about the signing of John L. Davis, who they know as Nelly.
No, I think he fits there. Now, the only thing I would say, with somebody like Nelly Davis, okay, a year ago, if Nelly Davis goes into the draft process and the portal, he's looking at a two-way of, let's say $500,000-$600,000. Well, he's also looking at a payday of about that same amount of money a year ago, because that's what the top guys in the portal were probably getting a year ago, around $500,000-$600,000. Now you can double that. Now Nelly Davis is probably going to make in excess of $1.2, $1.3 million. That's what I'm told the offer is for Arkansas right now. So if you're Nelly Davis and you're looking at it and you're saying, like, all right, I could go and maybe get a two-way at $500,000-$600,000, maybe, not guaranteed, or I can get a guaranteed $1.2 million from Arkansas. It's kind of a no-brainer right now, isn't it, guys?
Maybe this is the Arkansas radio host in me, but it sure seems like the money's more sure here in Fayetteville than the possibility of getting drafted. Now, that's his decision. It's his family and what he wants to do, but it sure seems more of a surefire situation here than maybe elsewhere at the next level.
Well, I think that's what he was saying. That that's what made his decision what it turned out to be. I don't know the parameters of that. I mean, I don't know what he was offered. I have no idea. I do know that he's probably right about, or I suspect anyway, he's probably right. If he went to the NBA, he'd probably be, one of those two-way contract guys. Kind of like, we've seen some of our guys that have gone to the NBA that are on those two-way deals. So he's probably right about that. I don't know what the offer is here. I do know nobody's griping about NIL now.
No,
it's changed a little bit when you got plenty of money to spend.
and we had a chance of John Tyson again seems to be the big architect, the big leader on the money on this, and he's kind of approaching it this way. This was a small excerpt with his conversation with Bo on talking about just Arkansas, being an Arkansas fan, and how he feels like there's opportunity here, not just with the basketball program, but other programs too.
We're a proud state. Be proud. It's okay. It's okay to have expectations. At one time, this state was called the land of opportunity. So right now we're called the natural state. But when I was growing up, the motto of this state was the land of opportunity. I still think that should be the motto of this state, the land of opportunity. And I still think that way. You look at all the things that have been successful here by people showing up and working. So that's a damn proud state, land of opportunity.
So he's obviously put pen to paper. Those aren't just words. Actions have followed what he says right there. And I just wonder, it seems like based on the conversations and some of the reports out there, he's not the only one. We know what Warren Stevens did, also helping get Cal here and some of the other big donors. If this is not just going to be a basketball thing, because I think it's already this way in baseball to a certain extent, maybe not the same level of investment, but I wonder if this will leach into football at all, because that's where you're the farthest behind of the three major sports, I think, relative to your competition, in my opinion.
Well, I guess we'll find out. I mean, that's a natural question, but I don't know that we have any inkling of what the answer is going to be right now.
Yeah. Well, what we would hope, or from my opinion and my position, you would hope that for what appears to be John Tyson to basketball, that someone like Jerry Jones could be that for football. Let's just call it what it is. You need a sugar daddy for each program. That's what they need. And, Jerry's support over the years has seemingly went to a lot of things, but primarily football first. They put their name and put their money behind the nutrition center or whatever you call it, where they make all the meals for the athletes as well. But that's what you would like to see in a perfect world, I think, Ty, is, for what John Tyson's seemingly done for basketball, let's find someone like Jerry Jones or someone willing. He's the first that comes to mind to take care of football.
Well, here's one thing that I do think we have to keep in mind on this. Financing 85 kids on scholarship and another 20 or so that are part of your 105-man roster, and financing 6, 8, 10, 12 basketball players, well, that ain't cheap, and I'm not dismissing it, and I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying that it's a small number, because clearly it's not. But financing a football program, one person's not going to do that. There has to be a collection of people.
So on the subject of the basketball players, I think a lot of people are asking who's next. Well, Jaxon Robinson recently entered the portal. We've seen guys that have left Arkansas and then come back, like Jimmy Witt. Think about Mike Anderson and then to Eric Musselman. My immediate thought, I wondered about if there was a possibility there. You've added scores. You've added big men. You need shooters on this team. You need shooters and role players now to help spread out the offense, and just guys that'll get in there, get rebounds, play defense and stuff. I know Adu Tiero was in town earlier this week. Curious to see if he winds up as an Arkansas Razorback. He's more of a role player type, a 6'8" guy. But that is my next push if I'm Cal, is really going after those two type of players as shooters and role player guys.
Well, go get them.
Tommy, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, like Chuck said, I think you're selecting from the cream of the crop, and you're trying to close them. I think, we're trying to talk about NIL, but we really don't know what we're talking about, because we hear there's a lot of money. We've heard that John L. Davis getting, $1 million, and you played the clip earlier. I mean, it's hard to talk parameters because this isn't like reading a box score.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about Peyton Stovall going for 5 for 5. That's my difficulty with the conversation, is because of the current state and the lack of transparency and the way NIL works. All we can do is guess and have an opinion. But yeah, I mean, if you're suggesting we go get the best players to fill all the roles, I'm with you on that.
I don't know about I don't know, Ty. You said he thinks you think he's going to go after role players now. I don't know that. And here's why. I don't think any of us really know. I mean, how many people, quite honestly, imagined our roster would look like even, what it looks like right now? We don't know what it's going to look like yet. Yeah, you're going to have some guys do the dirty work. There's no doubt about that, but you don't know that you don't already have those guys. Maybe these guys are great players and they can do the dirty work. We're guessing is what I'm saying. We've been guessing. We've all been guessing from day one. And that's just kind of how it works. When you think about, for example, a player like Jaxon Robinson, would he come back to Arkansas? What Jimmy Witt, those guys did under other coaches, doesn't have anything to do with now. John Calipari's head coach now. John Calipari, I don't know if he's got any history with him or not. I don't know if he'd consider him a player that he'd want to get. The only reason we bring him up even is because he played here.
Yeah.
Because he got good after he left. So, but you got to remember he transferred in here from somewhere else too. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't heard that that's even a possibility.
That is just when I saw that news and Mark Pope and Cal seemed to be
it's
going.
It's natural to wonder, but that's what happens, Ty. People wonder out loud, and all of a sudden, here's Jaxon Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they may not have had anything to do with each other.
You're exactly right. But you asked a fair question about we don't know what type of roster this is going to look like moving forward. I just don't want this roster to be filled with just all-stars because you get to a point where you're going to have too many mouths to feed, guys are malcontent, and it doesn't work. You have to have guys, and even I'll give credit to Anthony Black and Jordan Walsh, who were McDonald's All-Americans that did dirty work on the defensive end at times. And Anthony was as unselfish as a high-caliber player as I've seen, and he played through injuries, and he was a tough kid. Sometimes that works as freshmen and you get that type of mentality, but it's not always that way. When you go after guys like, again, that fit into the role players that don't have these just eye-popping stats, that's why I like the idea of bringing a Dutiero here or Jaxon Robin that can shoot and fill it up, because one of the other weaknesses of this team the last couple years is the inability to shoot the basketball. That's why I want to add those type of players.
I don't know that Tiero's one you would classify as a
he's not.
shooter.
Yeah, no, he's not a shooter at all. I'm saying from the role standpoint, rebounder, tough guy,
he's
defense.
An inside guy.
Yeah, 6'8", wing, can do a lot.
You've obviously got to get shooters, and I think they've signed some. I just think we need to sit back and watch this, and I suspect that if he signs role players, as you put it, they'll be better than average role players. I'm pretty sure of that, and I want him to get the best collection of players they can get. He's coached all different types of personalities. If there's a prima donna in this bunch, it won't be the first one he's ever coached. And it won't be the last.
I mean, this is kind of an obvious statement, but it looks like every spot on the roster is going to be an upgrade across all 13 because not one player with eligibility
I think
left.
That's fair.
Not one player with eligibility left on last year is even being uttered as a possibility for this 13-man roster. So I think the thought that you're going to have an across-the-board noticeable upgrade in all 13 spots is, I say it's obvious, but, I mean, that seems to be what we're all expecting, and I think what will unfold.
You mentioned, Chuck, you mentioned types of personalities. Again, our audience probably doesn't know the backstory or really a lot about Janelle Davis, but going back to Jeff Goodman, here was what he had to say in terms of Cal and just what he expects on the coaching side of things with Nelly coming to Arkansas.
Nelly is not the easiest dude to coach. He's not. And John Calipari has dealt with some tougher dudes to coach. Like, that's what he's made a living on. That's what he's built his career on. So I think it's the perfect match for both Nelly Davis and John Calipari.
I think some coaches shy away for what we would perceive to be certain problem players or guys that have antics or stuff off the court or something that are a little more difficult to coach. Cal's not exactly like you said in that, and kind of just heard Jeff Goodman say that same thing.
What's he talking about there? I mean, when he says he's not the easiest guy to coach, I'm not aware.
It's just probably a vibrant personality. I mean, there's certain college basketball players that get to a point as their stature that, I mean, Mason Jones, for example. I'll think of someone in the last 3 or 4 years. Mason wasn't the easiest guy to coach, but he's a great player. And him and Muss had some tiffs here and there, and they went back and forth. We saw it firsthand. in Bud Walton Arena and other places, and yet it still worked out.
Well, that's pretty standard operating procedure on any team. You've always got a player somewhere that's, maybe a little bit different in that regard. I thought he was inferring, and I thought you were inferring there had been problems off the floor, because I haven't heard anything about
No. Let me bring that back in. I said off the floor. That's not a shot at John L. That's just other maybe players or other guys that Cal has brought in over his Kentucky, Memphis, UMass days.
I got you. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go back to what I said earlier. I don't think Cal's going to be fazed by that. If there's a prima donna in the bunch, he knows what to do. I mean, I've watched his Kentucky teams play. He's had one or two on those teams.
Yeah.
So he knows what to do with that.
When you see all these guys on the NBA rosters, and they have the backstory and stuff, that some of those guys were a little more difficult to coach in college, because they come in being told they're the best ever, the greatest ever, like you never do anything wrong, especially the way that kids are coached nowadays in high school and AAU. It's kind of a quick change immediately when they've gone to Memphis, Lexington, and now when they get to Fayetteville here.
Well, we speak cliche-ishly quite often about how, the best player on his high school team's not the best player on the floor anymore. There's lots of best players on high school teams that are out there. We've said that ever since we got into this. But when you play for one of Cal's teams, evidently, when you look at the talent, that's never been more true. I mean, you may be a 5-star, and everybody, across 3 states may think that you invented the wheel. But, you go to, you get to camp, and there's 10 other guys exactly like you. So I'm sure it is different.
Dealing with divas will be nothing new for him, and it will all be great training for dealing with Chuck when it comes to doing the TV show and the radio show. So he'll be well-versed for dealing with you. Hey, we're brought to you by Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment. Roll into the season with WT Equipment. Strong savings right now on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, even large commercial-grade hay equipment. Save $5,000, $10,000 or more in cash back, or take 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compact tractors right now. So if you're needing an upgrade for weekend chores, or you need consistent strength and efficiency for the daily grind on your operation, they have the machines that you need to get the deal done. It's all at WT Equipment. There's a location near you. These offers end June the 30th. WT Equipment, they're your partner in progress.
So the Miami Heat were closed out by the Boston Celtics last night. Really had 2 blowout games. Dallas Mavericks ended up getting a big-time win, game number 5. A lot of times the game 5 winner goes on to win the series. And Daniel Gafford was very much in the thick of things last night.
Sequence. Yeah, by the Mavericks. Uh-oh. It's a banger. Kyrie Irving on the long alley-oop pass. And it's Gafford throwing it down.
So 5 rebounds, 8 points, a steal, and a block for the El Dorado native. That highlight you just heard, Kyrie Irving threw it from like half court, and Gafford went up and got it. He has thrown down some of the most like dynamite alley-oops of the season, and really one of the dunks of the playoffs, guys, last night from Daniel Gafford.
Well, he's a great athlete, always has been. I mean, and my gosh, when he goes up for an alley-oop and stretches that right arm up as far as he can get it, I mean, it's above the top of the backboard, it seems like. I'm glad he's in Dallas, glad he got traded, glad that it worked out where he can play for a team that's in the playoffs. Daniel's never going to be a guy that, if you're looking for someone with 28 points and 17 rebounds, he's not going to be that guy. But if you're looking for a guy kind of like last night, 5 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of assists, key block, big block in a key moment, highlight reel dunk.
Role player like we were just talking about?
Yeah, very, very, very similar. I mean, he's a starter. He doesn't really play starters minutes, but he's a starter for him, and it's just been a good situation for him there.
He's even going back to watching him as a high school athlete in El Dorado, and then, of course, at Arkansas. He's as good a big man as I've seen running the floor. A lot of times you watch big men and they labor from end to end, and defensively they don't always help you as quickly in a half-court possession as you'd like. He's always been one that he moves from end to end a lot more fluidly, a lot more like a 3 or a 4 than a 5. And I think that is maybe his best asset, is his ability to get back quicker than most of his counterparts.
Yeah,
Probably is.
He beat, on that play right there, he beat Mason Plumlee pretty easily to the rim. And those guys, whether it's Doncic or if it's Irving, they are always looking for him in the fast break. Other Hogs in action tonight, you got Patrick Beverly and Bobby Portis trying to hold off elimination. They're on the road against the Indiana Pacers at 5:30 on TNT. And then you've got the other game, which is, Chuck, your New York Knicks trying to beat Philadelphia back in Philly. We were talking about this earlier. Knicks have just absolutely dominated their fans, that arena, and we'll see if the 76ers are able to win tonight, or if that becomes the Knicks arena, if it's Madison Square Garden too later on.
Well, so the Philadelphia owner, I think, bought 2,000 tickets
Yeah.
to try to keep Knicks fans from buying them up.
It's embarrassing.
Knicks kind of blew a chance. I mean, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie to you. They should have closed them out. They had them beat the other night and let it slip away, get into overtime, and then they lost. So they're going to go back to Philly, and Philly may win. I mean, they may have to go back to the Garden for the 7th game.
Yeah, looking here on the Bet Saracen app, Knicks are catching 3.5. Sixers are favored in that game, and
I believe that.
Over-unders at 200.5. So I was just looking here to take some of the NBA playoff games for tonight. Bucks are catching 7.5 from the Pacers, and the Cavaliers are catching 4.5 from the Magic.
Got to stop Tyrese Maxey tonight if you're the New York Knicks. I mean, he's the one that hit the N1.
Well, you're not going to. You're not going to stop Tyrese Maxey, particularly at home. You got to find a way to win the game knowing he's probably going to score 30, 40 points. I mean, he's a great player. The idea that you just stop Tyrese Maxey, well, if it was that simple, somebody would have done it a long time ago. So he'll get his points, and the Sixers may win tonight. But I still like the Knicks, but I'm a little bit worried because I think they blew that game when they were up 3-1.
Game 7 in MSG, that has a nice ring to it.
Be noisy.
I know that you'd rather them close it out tonight, but
What would
that is
that ticket cost?
I guess
would be the get-in price
it is
there?
just a first-round game. It's not like in a finals or an Eastern Conference.
It's only about
final.
5,000.
Yeah, just I think it was going for the other tickets were going about for 400 or 500, but it would definitely be in the thousands if it came to a Game 7.
I was just looking at here.
I don't think I'm going to go. I'm going to make a decision right now. I don't think
Executive
I'm going to go.
decision?
Yeah.
All right, on the Bet Saracen app, Tyrese Maxey over/under for points, 26.5.
What are you taking, Ty?
Under.
Under?
You got too much faith. He's still a young buck, man. He's
Under's
in the biggest
105.
situation. He's going under. He goes under 25.
Over. I'm going to take
Over's
the over.
minus 130. So Joel Embiid, 30.5.
Want to pay me
is his
directly,
over.
Ty? Or?
Oh, we're doing man-to-man? like at Dave and Buster's nowadays?
Well,
we'll
man
just do
to
it
man to boy.
We'll talk about it off there. We'll talk. Don't call Chuck a boy. That's a little mean.
I
Come
wasn't.
on. Hour 2 coming up. Stay with us. It's a Too Stupid Thursday.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin.
Hey, it is hour number 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Too Stupid Thursday. Arkansas baseball gets it done. 12-0 in midweeks this season as they defeat Missouri State 8-5. And we will talk about Dave Van Horn, some of his comments, not just about the game last night, this weekend. Peyton Stovall and Peyton Holt, 2 good games. Holt goes yard again. Stovall goes 5 for 5. First time he's done that since 2002 as a freshman. But Chuck, do you know about the Glizzy Gladiator? Have you heard the rumors? Have you heard the story about the Glizzy Gladiator?
I don't know that I have.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
All right. Well, I want to tell you about this guy, and I feel like that we are not doing justice on talking about the Glizzy Gladiator without the Mex music in the background. So this fan for the New York Mets on Tuesday, Chuck, on Dollar Hot Dog Night, was having this contest to see if he could drink more beers or more hot dogs. Hot dogs ended up winning 10-9. It was a bad day to be a Glizzy, as he had written down on his shirt. The issue was, and the issue why this is being brought up on a Too Stupid Thursday, is not because of the efforts of the Glizzy Gladiator. It's because he was removed from the stands by security because in the 9th inning, Mets fans started throwing hot dogs on him, and he was becoming a nuisance and becoming over the top. So he finished with 10 hot dogs and 9 beers, but unfortunately did not get to finish the game as the Mets won, 4-2 against the Cubs earlier, Tommy?
How did he attract all this attention? How did this become a story?
He's got this shirt, and he's chugging beers, and then he's eating hot dogs, and then he would write a Sharpie mark on his shirt.
Like you'd put a K up on the wall for a Hagen Smith.
I got you.
And fans started to notice, and they started booing at the security when he left, and they're chanting, "Let him eat, let him eat." Well, they didn't let him finish the game. So again, 10-9 the final, 10 hot dogs, 9 beers. It's stupid because security did not let him conclude the game.
So he's a fan favorite.
He's
a fan favorite. They were throwing him hot. They weren't throwing hot dogs at him because they hated him. They were throwing hot dogs at him so he could eat some more. Is that what you're saying?
Boost those numbers up, man.
I got you.
10 hot dogs and 9 beers in a 9-inning game is pretty good.
That's a beer an inning.
Yeah.
And a hot dog an inning.
What would be harder, to eat the hot dog every inning or drink the whole beer every inning? I don't know what size cups these were.
After a while, it would be
I
drink
think
the
so.
beer for me.
I think you just fill up, I think it's hard.
Ty has that many beers before the 7th inning
Yeah.
stretch. I mean, it's no big deal for him.
Well, the hog fin can get to you sometimes, and there's a lot of truth to that. But again, the Glizzy Gladiator, remembered, not forgotten, and I just hope they have this promotion in Baum Walker's.
I'm sure glad we didn't forget it.
It'll never be forgotten thanks to
My
you,
life
Ty.
will never be the same again.
That's right.
Great.
He's achieved immortality.
Great fan. A great fan. Just hope we
Hopefully
see.
they'll make a movie someday.
Again,
It's a 30 for 30.
I'm going to say this to the athletics department once again. Get this promotion in Baum Walker next season. It's not going to happen against Mississippi State. It's not going to happen in a regional super. Just shove it in a midweek game next year. It'll get more fans to the ballpark. There's nothing.
That's a great idea, Ty. That is a great idea.
First of its kind.
They are lacking for support over there at Baum Walker. You do have a good point.
First of its kind. Well, speaking of Baum Walker, Arkansas again wins 8-5 last night. Peyton Stovall had himself a game, one of the best as an Arkansas Razorback, and his teammates noticed, including his catcher, Parker Rowland. Here's what Parker, who apparently is Peyton's roommate on road trips, had to say it's just kind of expected of Peyton.
Stovall's my roommate on the road, so we get to talk hitting a lot, and, he's a great hitter, and I'd say he's helped me a lot since I've been here, too. I think he's going to play baseball for a long time, and watching him go about his day-to-day business is pretty special, so I'm not surprised by it, to be honest with you.
He's now hitting .350, and Tommy, it's one thing to have a couple hits as a leadoff guy, but 5 for 5, and he's playing his best baseball. Dave said this a couple weeks ago, so he had the surgery after getting banged up. And then what's surprising to me is against SEC play. I know last night was a midweek game against Mo State, but he's had his best games this season against conference competition, with the exception of last night.
Yeah, and 9 games to go. He missed time earlier, obviously, with the foot back, end of March, first part of April, somewhere. Maybe it's in mid-February. I can't remember the dates, but missed a few outings there. So, you need him to spark things. Again, it's still too early, I think, with 3 weekends to go to be playing your best baseball. You've still got 4 more weeks before you want to begin to peak, and that's just beginning to peak. So, I want him to get hot, but not necessarily May the 1st, Chuck. It's too early to play your best.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think you want to try to play your best every time you go out there and get better as you go. I hear what you're saying, but we've not seen peaks and valleys this year.
No.
I mean they're 39-7.
We were talking about that earlier, and I want to talk to you about that.
They've not been on a roller coaster.
Nope.
And so that's one of the things that I think is encouraging about this team. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't run into a hot team somewhere in the postseason. And sometimes it has more to do with the other team than it does your team when you lose unexpectedly. And that's a hard one to swallow sometimes, but it's the truth. Sometimes you just run into a hot team like we did a few years back with NC State. Sometimes you just get beat. But this team's not gone through a lot of that this year. I can tell you that this statement that we just kind of passed over, no midweek losses. I mean, that's a mouthful, guys. They play 56 games. I guess this year they're going to end up with 55. But that means that 30 of them are conference games and 25 are what are classified as, or at least 20 of them are classified as like midweek games, 18, whatever. How many do they have? 12, 15, whatever. To win them all, that's no small feat right there. Not to just have one loss in there. That's no small feat.
39 wins on May the 1st. It's the morning of May 2nd. I get it, but you got 9 regular season games to go. You just start kind of charting out, if you win 5 or 6 of those, you win a couple of games in Hoover. You got to win at least 3 in a regional. You got to win 2 in a super. If you have the kind of season you expect to have, Chuck, 51 is the most Dave Van Horn has won at Arkansas in a season. This is a team that could, I assume that's the program record for wins in a season, but you could be topping 55, 56 wins if this team goes all the way in Omaha.
I don't have the record book in front of me. I think one of Norm's teams top 50. I could be mistaken on that, but the point's well made that they got a chance to pile up some wins.
Yeah,
and
50 and 13 is Dave's best record in 2021 at Arkansas.
Okay.
So
I think Norm might have won 51 maybe one time. I forget. At any rate, yes, they're going to have an opportunity, but the postseason determines that. The postseason determines that. You got 9 games to go. They're at, as we said, they're at 39 right now. So you can start doing the math. They're going to be into the 40s. But how far into the 50s they get is going to be determined by what happens in the postseason.
Absolutely. Hey, for over a century of proven performance, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has been your reliable partner, providing the financial assistance your farm or your ranch needs to stay up and running. Visit myaglender.com, that's myaglender.com, or any of their 25 locations. There's one near you for financial and lending support that you need from sunrise to sunset. That's myaglender.com.
Starting rotation's going to say the same, it sounds like, this weekend, according to Dave Van Horn. Brady Tyggart's going to be your Saturday guy. Hagen Smith's going to be your Friday. TBA on Sunday, but it sounds like Molina could play. Will Hagen Smith, though, break the strikeouts record by the end of the regular season?
Era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush. Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, Wes. Billy, P is for horses. I have an idea to bring in more customers. What you got? We yell on the radio, woo, Pig Suey. We're going to call the hogs? Yeah, we call them all in. Woo, Pig Suey. Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza.
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pig Suey!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Woo! Pig suey!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The corporal will wait for an answer.
So we led into the break talking about the starting rotation for this weekend, which Dave Van Horn shared after last night.
I would say right now, probably go with the guy named Smith on Friday. And then on Saturday, probably Tigert. And we'll leave it TBA right now just to make sure that Molina's good to go. I imagine that's what he'd tell you.
A guy named Smith, which we all know who Hagen Smith is.
Hope he's all right.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Hope he can pitch.
111 strikeouts on the season in 11 games, basically averaging 10 a game. Now, he is at 310 career strikeouts right now. 345 is Nick Schmidt's record. So in order to break Nick Schmidt's record, you would have to do basically 12 strikeouts a game. Guys, in the regular season, do you think Hagen Smith will break the record? So, again, he's averaging 10 strikeouts a game for the most part, with the exception of 17 against Oregon State earlier this year. My feeling is no. The regular season, he's going to need a game in Hoover, possibly a game in the Fayetteville Regional. He's going to break it. I mean, Arkansas will at least have 2 postseason appearances, one in Hoover, Alabama, and the next one in Fayetteville, Arkansas. But he's not going to be able to throw 12 strikeouts a game these next 3 games in Lexington, against a ranked Mississippi State team, and again's, I think, the second best hitting team in the SEC on the road. It's just not going to happen. It's coming. It's just not coming.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
That would be tough. It's important to note that postseason strikeouts do count as part of the record. So,
Correct.
I mean, he's going to break the record. It's not like some records where you have to, they're just regular season records. Postseason counts. It'd be hard to do it before the regular season ends. He's generally working, 7 innings is pretty much it. And so, I mean, for him to pass it, he'd have to average almost 2 strikeouts an inning in the regular season. But he might be in a spot where he could do it his first outing in the tournament.
Remember his first outing against James Madison that went so terribly wrong?
Horrible.
And to have the kind of season he's had, and starting with and maybe his best performance of his career was the very next one down in Texas. But to go from that, and you talk about averages and the 17 there, you also got to average in the pitiful performance he had that first game. But to think where this team's at and where he is at following that game, Chuck, is pretty remarkable.
Well, that was all weather, guys. I mean, that was all weather. It's cold in Fayetteville and it's warm in Texas. That one's not hard to figure out. You're not going to get your best performances in the month of February. You're just not. Look at Vahiva Aloy. Look at what he was then, what he is now. The idea that a great player's got, I mean, they know when their bread's buttered. I mean, they know when it's time to perform. And, February is important. I'm not saying it's not important. But it's cold. It's not baseball. It's not baseball in February. It's not.
Here's what I will say. What happened in February, if you parlay with what happened in Fayetteville in the regional of the year, people were a little curious. They weren't concerned, but they were just like, all right, he ended the end of the postseason bad a year before, and then he does that. And that's why people were like, whether it's fair or not, they combine those performances.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, it's not like it's the first time a player's had a subpar game on a cold day. I mean, that's just how it works in college baseball. You can't base a lot on what happens, in my opinion, with a player that first weekend. Maybe you can as a team. Maybe you can get some signs then. But in terms of an individual player, what kind of year he's going to have, you can't base that on the first weekend.
I'm going to say that he breaks the strikeout rate. He will break it. I agree, Ty. It won't be in the regular season. It's going to be in Game 2 of the regional in Fayetteville.
In fact, hold on. Let's do this. Let's hope he doesn't break it at Hoover. There's no Hog fans that are going to be there. Yeah. You don't want him to break it at Hoover. You want him to be at home in your Mecca, Baum-Walker Stadium. In fact, I hope he has a bad performance in Hoover.
Oh,
I want him to break it in Fayetteville. You don't want
you want him to have a short
No one's there. No one's
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and it would be nice if he could do it at home. I will also say that if it happens at home in the postseason, it's going to be right in the middle of an NCAA tournament game. And I don't know, like, for example, if you were playing a home regular season game when he breaks the record, you're going to have an announcement on the scoreboard. Crowd's going to give him a standing ovation. He's going to tip his cap and all that stuff. It's going to be a great moment. I don't know what you do in the NCAA tournament. You know, they don't even let you have they're pretty strict about what they let you do, is what I'm trying to say. You may be getting to play at home, but they try to make it neutral site during the game. They fail, but they try.
Wink, wink. Yeah. Wink, wink.
And I don't know what it would be like, to be very honest with you. What would happen, during the game if it happens in the NCAA tournament. But I tend to agree that I think that's probably when it's going to happen.
Yeah, so because I don't think he'll start game one. I think he'll start.
And we're assuming everything goes fine between now and then. That's a big assumption, but sure hope it does.
How about just averaging 9 strikeouts the next 4 games? That gets you to 36.
I don't get the
card. Four average outings, and he ought to get there.
Yeah, average for him, not average for most college baseball players. Sorry, Tommy, go ahead.
I would say the competition, in these final 3 weekends is no slouch, and
that's a very good point.
And we've got no idea how Dave will want to handle pitching at the SEC tournament, but keeping these guys on schedule will be important. And he may not go 4, 5, 6 innings, but I would imagine he'll get a start in Hoover. He'll pitch 2 or 3 innings. That's kind of been the history with guys like him. And when you get to the conference tournament in this situation,
I would imagine he would probably get a minimal amount of work in there, unless there's some kind of reason, he's got a tired arm or something when we get there. I would imagine that he would probably get
routine's important.
Yeah, some sort of work in there.
That is your Morning Rush Daily Question, brought to you by our friends at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. Tommy.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Now, let's talk to Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
All right, Tom, we'll bring you into our Morning Rush Daily Question. Hagen is, barring an injury, he's going to break the all-time strikeouts record for Arkansas this season. Does he do it, though, in the regular season? Can he average 12 strikeouts the next 3 games against Kentucky, Mississippi State, and A&M?
Hi, guys. Yeah, it could certainly happen. And I haven't studied Kentucky or Mississippi State with any great depth to find out, are they a heavy, very aggressive swinging team? And could he get 14 in one of those games and get himself ahead of the pace he would need? I hope he breaks it in the regular season, because I heard y'all's discussion about, if it happened at the SEC tournament, there'd probably be an announcement. Maybe they're on the spot, maybe between innings. But certainly at the NCAAs, they wouldn't be allowed to. I don't think Arkansas would be allowed to stop the game and have any kind of deal. So hopefully he'll get it, in the next 3.
Tom, I wonder about who's going to be catching for Hagen, not just this weekend, but the rest of the way. We saw Parker Rowland. We've seen Helfrich. We've seen Hudson White. I know the outfield has been a question on who's going to be where in the postseason. Do you think Dave has an idea of who he wants catching games, or is this going to be a game-by-game basis?
Oh, my gosh. So Rowland was a spark plug yesterday, and I know he didn't start the season hot, but he of late, when he's in there, he walks a lot, so he's got a very discerning eye. Hudson White just hasn't hit, I think, like they thought he would. He was one of the hottest hitters they had in the fall. He started the season off, I think, leading off. So some decisions will probably be made on how tight you want to, how good of a blocker and a guy throwing down to second and such. But I would think Rowland has as good a chance, the way he's played lately, to catch as anybody. And of course, they really like Helfrich against left-handed arms. So it's going to be, I think catching is going to be mix and match the rest of the year.
Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Let's switch over to basketball. We haven't gotten deep into the news this morning about John Calipari officially announcing Ronald Coleman and Chuck Martin to his staff as assistants. Tell us what you know about these guys. I know they got history with Coach Cal and have been with him for some time and got college basketball coaching experience.
Yeah, they do, and I think it just kind of stands to reason that Coach Cal's going to have guys on his staff that he's known and he's trusted, and the formula's been pretty good. I mean, Kentucky fans obviously were, they weren't heartbroken to see him go, but the formula has worked for him over the years, and the recruiting part of what he has done during his long tenure at Kentucky and Memphis before that, and so on, UMass has produced a lot of great talent. So I'm not sure has he completed the staff? Is it full yet? I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Has the numbers even going back to Kenny Payne and now these two and some of the salary numbers I saw floating around on social media yesterday? Has that surprised you a little bit, the investment that they're now making, not only with Cal that we obviously all know about, but also this staff that's going to be more well-heeled than any Arkansas basketball coaching staff we've ever seen?
Well, I mean, slightly surprising, but look, they want to run with the biggest of the big dogs, and if that's what they feel like it's going to take, I mean, obviously, John Tyson has stepped to the front in terms of a renewed financial commitment to the program, and but with that comes the anticipation and basically the pressure to produce results. So no big shocker at what some of these salaries look like, but it's I would say the price of doing business, but it's modern day. Things have escalated. I mean, look at your price for groceries or getting any kind of service done at your house. It's going up.
Well, and won't surprise me if the tickets go up as well, and I think fans will line up to pay, and I don't think there'll be any problem. I was just doing some quick math. If they have student seats and they've got ones they keep in house, but if they had say 18,000 seats and they were able to raise those $50 for the season, there's $900,000. So it won't surprise me at all to see a noticeable increase on your tickets when that comes around.
Wouldn't be a shocker in the least. And I mean, Arkansas fans have proven you put a winner on the court, they'll show up. I think Arkansas fans should be forever grateful that Eric Musselman came on and did what he did. I mean, it was a time when it wasn't easy to do it in college basketball, and he produced a team that got really good and better as the season went on and was reaching its max in the postseason. And, man, you can't ask for more as a basketball fan for your program to be delivering like that.
Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, is there anyone you think Cal wants back? I mean, we hadn't seen anything. I know Trent Brazile just entered the portal. Doesn't sound like the NBA that he got the feedback he wanted. Is there any guy in the portal currently that you think Cal would be interested in a reunion with Arkansas?
It's all about fit and personality matches and things like that. I mean, Trevin Brazile's got a fine game, and I don't see why he wouldn't. So I would pursue him, and it looks like there would be a chance for Devo from what I've seen. So and obviously, it seemed to me that even though it didn't get it wasn't well publicized or anything, it seemed to me that between Eric Musselman and Battle, there was a personality thing or something that was happening, and every once in a while, Eric Musselman would say, in terms of playing time for him, you got to be bought into what we're doing on defense and all that. So clearly, it was a defensive commitment thing, but we haven't seen a more pure scorer in a while. I mean, Mason Jones, he could go get his buckets anytime. Isaiah Joe, great scorer. There's been a bunch that have come through, but doggone, when Khalif Battle, he could rise up over guys on the perimeter, or he could drive. He got to the free throw line a lot. Battle was a fantastic scorer. And, of course, Tremont Mark has a good game as well. And, you can always remember him for beating A&M in that game where the Aggies came back from, 20 down and got the lead. Unbelievable. So I like the potential for any of those guys. And I don't know if some of them might have already declared where they're going or not, but all those would be, welcome in my eyes.
I saw the number one recruit in 2025. The conversation he had with Cal was basically same brand different location. And I was curious how it would go, him coming to what is perceived nationally as a little bit lesser program. I know we got a lot of pride of what goes on in Bud Walton Arena in this state, but when you look at what he's done thus far, do you think that players are surprised and coaches are surprised how quickly it's gone down with these first 6 guys that has already got this class in the top 5, Tom?
No, I don't think so, because his track record has said he can recruit talent. I mean, he's got a magnetic personality. I mean, you saw him work in the room at the introductory press conference. There's going to be some fun moments moving forward with the press corps here. But no, I'm not surprised at all that the talent accrual is what it's been to this point.
Yeah. Tom Murphy with us here, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. We started talking with Hagen Smith. Let's kind of get back to baseball here in this weekend. You got Kentucky coming up beginning tomorrow night. Tom, this may be the series that perhaps decides the regular season overall champ. Could go a long ways in whether Arkansas is going to be in a position to overtake A&M in a couple of weeks in the West as well. What are you expecting this weekend in the Bluegrass State? Not just the Kentucky Derby there, but one of the biggest weekends in college baseball as well.
It really is, and I mean, if you look at what's ahead on Arkansas' schedule, they're not favored, I don't think, to win the overall title. And Tennessee's been playing better as well, and certainly A&M is right there barking at their heels and is higher rated in the country, and they have to finish. I mean, the Razorbacks have to finish at Kentucky and at A&M. Two of the 4 teams vying for the overall title. And in the middle, they have Mississippi State coming in here, and they're playing a lot better. I saw yesterday where Kendall Rogers thinks they're going to be a host, and they're coming on. So sweeping any of these 3 would be a fantastic development for Arkansas, and winning the series is going to be tough on all 3 of them. So Kentucky has been the surprise team in the conference, no question about it this year. I don't know a ton about what's going on with their roster other than they've scored a lot of runs and they've pitched it well. So this is going to be a fantastic, a fun weekend. And Arkansas has just got to be more a consistent hitting team. I mean, it was great to see Peyton Stovall go 5 for 5, but they got a lot of guys in that lineup that are going to have to be more productive entering the postseason for them to have a chance to make it to Omaha again.
All right, Tom, we'll leave it there. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, sounds good. Yep.
Tom Murphy with us. Chuck, this is probably one of those weekends. I know you like having some of your time back, but this would be one you're probably itching to be behind the microphone for this weekend.
This is it's a big weekend, not just for Arkansas and Kentucky, but Tennessee and Texas A&M are very much involved in this too. The divisional races are identical right now. Arkansas and Kentucky, and on the other side you got Tennessee a game back, and on our side you got A&M a game back. So Tennessee plays at Florida this weekend, and A&M goes to LSU. So and then Arkansas obviously plays Kentucky. So we're talking about this weekend perhaps deciding the overall title. You could have different divisional leaders by the close of the weekend. Depending upon what happens with Arkansas and Kentucky and what happens with Tennessee and Florida and LSU and A&M. So this could be a moving weekend, and then 2 weekends to go. And as we discussed earlier, and as Tom kind of mentioned there a minute ago, A&M's playing really well, Mississippi State is playing really well right now. And I saw where they beat Ole Miss in the Governor's Cup game last night in Jaxon. That was a non-conference game, but they beat them in that game. So Mississippi State's playing well right now, and that will not be an easy home series. Yeah. Hey, guys, let me pause just for a second and talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you are buying or selling a home, let me tell you about my partners in the real estate game, and they've been my partners really throughout my adult life. From the very first time I bought a home, and I had no clue what was going on. I'm sure thankful they did. At Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. And, the process just kind of goes on. And those of you who've, partnered with a real estate company throughout your lives know exactly what I'm talking about. They listened. They understood my needs. They presented a plan, and they got me from contract to close. And, again, I didn't always know what was going on, but they did. And that's the value in partnering with a well-trained, full-time real estate agent. And that's what you get at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington County. They're in Benton County, Fort Smith, Branson. You can check out their selection of homes at WeichertGriffin.com.
I don't know how far Lexington and Louisville are together, Tommy, you brought up
about
with
an
Tom.
hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes.
Well, the game's at 1 on Saturday. You think you could make it to the Derby right after that? Hall Butt over. Yeah. That'd be quite a weekend. Watch a little.
You'd have to get your helicopter out to beat the traffic, but you probably could pull
parking
it off.
might be a minor issue.
Yeah.
That would be
100,000 people or so there.
I've had I think y'all have had some friends. I've had some friends that go. They said that it's a sporting event that there's nothing like it, and I don't even I've been to Oaklawn plenty of times, but I don't even know what would be in comparison to that outside of Oaklawn. But it would be something cool for Arkansas fans. In fact, we've got a text or two on the McLarty Daniel hotline that are from Kentucky, Tommy, that might be there this weekend.
I can tell you from spending some time in Kentucky for professional and personal stuff, their level of horse racing is a whole different level than everybody else's. Now, look, I love Oaklawn. I'm not knocking Oaklawn. I think it's great. You look at some of the horses and how well they've done at the Kentucky Derby. A lot of them came right through Hot Springs. But just in terms of the pomp and the circumstance and all the stuff that comes with the sport of kings, they know how to pull it off. Whether it's Keeneland and Lexington or whether it's Churchill Downs, they know what they're doing.
Well, sounds like it's got to be on my list at some point. All right, let's talk to Brent, who's in Stuttgart, or Searcy this morning, on the McLarty Daniel hotline. What's up, Brent?
We got Brent.
Back baseball if I can.
Do it, Brent. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, Chuck, with me, I keep it moving, keep it grooving. Had a heater or two this morning. I'm in great shape. My first question I've had is just a college baseball question. Is there any talk of them moving the start of the season back to the beginning of March, where you could possibly be out of the really cold weather games in Fayetteville, for example? Do you know if that's ever come to the forefront in the NCAA's mind?
I don't think they're going to push it back to March. I mean, I remember when it started, when they didn't have a uniform start date. The Florida schools would start playing the middle of January. Hawaii'd have a game right after New Year's Day. They always do.
Wow.
Florida and Florida State, 15th of January, they'd be playing their season opener. We generally started the first weekend of February. You think it's cold in the middle of February, how about the first weekend of February? So they finally pushed that uniform start date back. I don't know that they're going to do it anymore.
Yeah. I wish they would, but I'm with you. They probably won't, and you got the Major League Baseball draft to consider as well. Hey, quick word for Gaston's White River Resort before we get out of here. Gaston's is the place, the kind of resort of record in our state. They've got 2 miles of White River frontage. So every cabin and lodge, they got 80 of them on site, has a great view of the White River. That's a lot of people will go. And, that's the number one thing. You just watch the river roll by, sit on that back deck, cook a steak, just enjoy the sound of the water kind of flowing by. It is serenity right here in our own backyard. 870-431-5202 is their number. Also make weekend dining reservations as well. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Yeah, I think that's a good take, Ty, and I don't say that often.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
We got to show them we are the University of Arkansas.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the Bases Loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section. We have the Bases Loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know?
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb, Facegram, you get it, Matthew.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
Go Hogs!
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Dial Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Peyton Stovall has one of the best games as an Arkansas Razorback yesterday against Missouri State. 5 for 5 at the leadoff position. He's now hitting .350.
1-1. The pitch to Stovall. Into center at fifth base hit. Yep, there it is. 5 singles today for Peyton Stovall.
It wasn't flashy, Tommy. Went over the top. It was just, dingers here and there and nice little base hits. And ends the day, 5 for 5.
Yep, and it's what you want in a leadoff batter. He's Chuck. Is he your most reliable player? I mean, I don't know. Hagen Smith's right there. You got several you can converse about, but when Stovall's been healthy, he's been about as reliable as they come.
Yeah, he has this weekend, not this week, this midweek game, but also for the majority of the year. Once he came back from injury, he was really getting after it. Now, this weekend, I already jumped ahead to this weekend. Kentucky, we were just talking about the Kentucky Derby, the not just impact that you'll see in Lexington, but also between the Tennessee Volunteers and who are they playing again, guys? The one just
they're at Florida. They're at Florida.
A&M's the other matchup.
A&M's at LSU.
Yeah, this weekend. We got a text earlier on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Thinks LSU's going to pull it out as their NCAA tournament hopes. They're trying to get back on track, but
I wonder.
For this weekend,
I'm rooting for LSU this weekend. A rarity, but I am.
Just for this weekend. Well, here's what Dave said about just this matchup with the Wildcats, and it's just really another series.
To me, the series all count the same. It's 1 win or 1 loss every time you play. You want to try to win 2 out of 3 so you have a tiebreaker. You win a couple games every weekend, you got a chance to win the league. But it's a big deal, but it's not a big deal. It's another SEC series. The next weekend we got Mississippi State. The last one we go to Texas A&M. So they're all big. The teams are all good, and our focus is to go down there and get ready to play Friday and try to find a way to win. I think they have a really good team. They swing the bat extremely well. They pitch. They fielded the ball good. If you let them get on a roll, they can get on a roll. So we know we have our hands full.
Peyton Stovall said something very similar, Chuck. He basically just echoed what his head coach said.
Well, I mean, you play 30 conference ball games, and at the end of the season, none count any more than another. I mean, you play 30 games. Here's the thing that I see right now with Arkansas, and this is what I think we're going to see develop. With the exception of maybe 1 draw in Hoover, you look at Kentucky, Mississippi State, Texas A&M. Any of those teams could end up in Omaha. Based on what we've seen so far, Kentucky and A&M would be among the favorites to win it all, among the favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen Mississippi State before come out of nowhere and win it all. And they're playing pretty well again right now. So these are the type teams they're going to be playing from this point forward. And you might have a game at the conference tournament, like I say, where you draw somebody that is not quite as good as you are. But for the most part, you're going to be playing, in my opinion, low-scoring, close ball games. You got to make all the plays. You can't give the other team extra outs. If you got somebody on third base with less than 2 outs, you better get them home. There are certain things that they're going to have to do to continue to play winning baseball. But they played winning baseball all season long, and I'd be very surprised if that changes.
I don't think it's just going to fall off a cliff, even though the competition, I wouldn't say stiffens, but is really, really solid to close out these final 3 weekends.
And you're the type of team, in Arkansas that someone like a Mississippi State, someone that's trying to find their path, they get a series win or a win over you in the conference tournament, you can put them on course because Arkansas is that good and got that big a target on their back. So that's the other side of being as successful as Arkansas has been. You can give a shot of confidence to the team that can knock you down.
Well, the one thing that they have done, I mean, there was the game at Auburn, I guess, that they, Auburn's not turned out to be very good, but they got a win over Arkansas. What have they lost? 2 non-conference ball games. But they've not stumbled in the midweek. They've been consistent. And that's why when Dave says it's just another series, it's believable because there's the track record to prove it. They've been workmanlike. And not just that. A lot of times they've just been better. Look, they're a better team than Missouri State. But you and I and all of us have seen years where Arkansas was better than Missouri State. Missouri State came down here and won a game. It didn't mean they went further in the NCAA tournament. Arkansas ended up having a better year, but Missouri State won that game. Or other schools would win that game. And you've not seen that this year. And that's encouraging to me. Because, look, the competition is going to step up for Arkansas, but never forget, these teams got to play the Razorbacks now too. And for a lot of those teams, that's meant a lost weekend. Yeah. And that's just the truth. And they're trying to avoid that still.
A lot of capable hitters up and down the lineup, and there's some guys that you'd like to get going, including Kendall Diggs. And
say that part again about they still have to play the Razorbacks. Say that part again, Chuck.
They still have to play the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I like that.
And I guarantee you they've been thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
When they're talking about what's left for them, they're saying, yeah, but we got to go to Arkansas for 3 games.
Yeah.
Mississippi State fans, when they talk about how their team's playing well and how they might make a run, they're going to say, yeah, but we got to go to Arkansas for 3 games. And so those other teams got to get ready for that.
All right, some basketball notes as we close out here our Hog Update. Daniel Gafford with a solid performance last night, 8 points, 5 rebounds, a block and a steal, including a nice first basket to get himself going.
Get it in. Third double right there, gets himself out of trouble and takes it right down and scoops it in. Gafford with the long strides, his first basket tonight.
They dominate the Los Angeles Clippers last night. They'll head to Game 6 with a 3-2 lead. The Boston Celtics closed out the Miami Heat last night. Guys, got 2 playoff games tonight. You got Bobby Portis and Patrick Beverly and the Bucks taking on the Pacers. Pacers up 3-2, and you've got the Knicks taking on Philly and Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. So you got some good games to look forward to tonight. Hopefully Bobby Portis and Patrick Beverly can parlay what they did the last game because Bobby really stepped up in Game 4 after getting tossed in Game number 3.
Yeah, they've really struggled for sometimes without Giannis and Lillard. And Portis is going to have a great game for them to win.
Yeah, he's got to go probably for 30-plus. In his game, he got tossed in 4 and had a good Game 5. But, yeah, he's got to have another type of Game 5 performance if they have any shot to win later on. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. As always, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky. Well, the thing went out on me. Tommy, you want to?
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY. How was that for a Philly?
There we go. That was not bad.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Technology.
Sing, he can dance. What can he do? What can he do?
He's an entertainer. He's an entertainer. He can do it all.
I'm gonna break this computer.
Hey, all of our basketball conversation brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. Go to lindberghteam.com. And by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit maverickmalemedical.com.
I know that you care about the players that are being added to this basketball team, like John L. Davis, and we're going to get to some comments by some notable college basketball people on that edition. But what about the coaching staff that John Calipari has compiled at some point? Must lost a few assistants the last few years. How much of an impact can those guys have with this success starting in year number 1? We'll talk about that and some other national news coming up in Hour 3.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
And based on what's happened thus far, with 3 transfer commits and 3 high school highly recruited guys signing here for Fayetteville, Arkansas, there seems to be some truth to that. John Calipari is the mainstay. He's the name. But he would tell you, and he has, and I've heard him talk about this, how important his staff is to his recruiting success. We're going to talk about the recent announced additions, Kenny Payne, and maybe some of the troubles that Eric Musselman faced at the latter part of his stretch here at Arkansas in Hour 3.
All right, all that coming up, brought to you by Uncorked. They're on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's in Fort Smith. Mother's Day weekend coming up. I know a lot of you want to take mom out to something special, something unique and different. Now's the time to start making reservations for that Mother's Day weekend at Uncorked. Friday and Saturday nights will be busy. You can go to uncorkthefort.com. You're going to find a unique and different experience. And it's not just the wonderful food that Chef Jazz will serve up, but it's Maggie and the ladies behind the bar and that come to your table and take care of you with 5-star service. It's going to be the list of wines and the unique drinks that you can find there that aren't anywhere else. And then you get to the menu and things like fried deviled eggs. And I know you say, what? Yeah, trust me, try them. They are phenomenal. And there'll be something on the menu that Mom will love as well. And I'm sure Mom will love a maybe a hard-to-find wine or something that you can enjoy at Uncorked. It's uncorkthefort.com to make reservations, or stop in and see them on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's in Fort Smith for Mother's Day weekend next week.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Kenny Payne was the first official hire announced as his associate Arkansas men's basketball coach, nearly making $1 million. That's unheard of in Arkansas basketball for the number of years, even what you're paying Cal at $7 million. But some other additions have been announced. Ronald, better known as Chin Coleman, and Chuck Martin, both have worked for Cal before at various places. Some guys this past season that played under them, like Reed Shepard and Rob Dillingham, who really came on as freshmen. Guys, I think one of the underrated storylines of why it maybe didn't happen for this past Arkansas basketball season is that Muss has lost a lot of assistant coaches these last couple years, and it seems like that Cal has brought in guys that he's worked with before that have a track record of success as assistants. Cal is, again, the mainstay. He's the main proponent of the success, but as I've heard him say before, his assistants are a big part of the success that he's had in various places.
Well, I think assistants are keys in any staff success, and maybe the most important thing a head coach does is assemble a staff. Forget the roster for just a moment. I mean, you've got to have a staff. They're going to be the ones that stay with you. The roster is going to change, and I'm sure all these guys. Number one, they're part of his circle of trust.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, they obviously are good at building relationships. You have to be, I would imagine, based on what we've seen, you have to have that skill if you're going to be part of his staff. I'm anxious to see when we get there what type practice coach he is. Muss coached everything. I've seen coaches that are, they're right in the middle of every drill. I've seen coaches that instruct from the sideline and their staff's in on every drill. I don't know how this is going to work. I have no idea. I believe it is Coach Coleman, Chin, who is very reputable in terms of tutoring point guards, guards particularly, maybe point guards specifically. And I think that's the reputation that he's gained over the years and his stops along the way. So, everyone's got a certain area where they've got expertise, but they all better be able to recruit. And I think that's the first, maybe the first thing you look at.
Yeah, this could change, but the Kentucky guys, the media that I talked to, said that he gives a lot of leeway with the assistants, and what I mean by that is he lets them coach. Now, it's still very much his team, still very much his practice, but there might be more of what you're alluding to now in the Eddie Sutton practice facility than there was these last couple of years, because again, Muss was hands-on. It worked. I don't. This is not a pile on Muss thing, but it's just a difference of styles that you might see in practice.
Everyone has a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
I was not really of age to notice when Eddie Sutton was here, but I've heard players who play for him say that he was much more of a, walk around the perimeter of the floor with a whistle, and there are coaches that do it that way, and there are coaches like Muss who are in the middle of everything. And there's no right way or wrong way. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. But just from an interest point, I'm interested to see how Cal does it when we get there.
Yeah. And I think we also got to realize, and I'm going to make some assumptions here, but you've hired a brand in John Calipari. He's probably going to have more things because of who he is and what he means to the sport and what he means from just an outside marketing perspective that's going to take him away from practice and campus. And there's going to be moments he's not there that you better have strong assistants that are in charge. Now, I haven't seen it up close, and that may or may not be right, but, this is a different animal than anything you've had before in any sport before. And I would imagine just the requirements of just everyday life, Chuck, of being John Calipari are a little different and a little more demanding on his time, which puts a little more demand on the assistants.
You may be right. That's one of the things I'm interested to see how all this unfolds. What type setup they've got when we get there. I would find it difficult to believe that he's going to miss much in-season time because of that. You don't maintain relationships and you don't build your brand on building relationships or the ability to build relationships and then tell your players, hey, I got something more important to do today. There's got to be a balance in there, but we'll see. I'm as anxious as anybody else to see how it goes.
And you mentioned those relationships. The relationships have stayed at least on the three guys that he got out of high school that were originally committed to Kentucky, and we found out they were really committed to Cal. Then we've seen it was Vanimir Vicic, who was at Kentucky and then left Kentucky for Cal. I wonder, again, what other players that he's gotten or that got to Lexington are on that, like Adu Thiero Tiero was in town yesterday. He mentioned on social media that he was in Fayetteville if he would be a guy. Still haven't heard a lot about DJ Wagner just yet, which I kind of find surprising. I would have thought we would have heard more about that by now. That's another guy that is built up. But even like some coaches, once they leave, those ties are gone. That doesn't, based on the 4 examples I just mentioned, that's not the case with him at all.
Make no mistake about it. Every player in the transfer portal is trying to cut their best deal. That's what's going on right now. Now, for some of them, it's going to be right here. For others, it's going to be other places. But that's, go back to what Goodman said about John L. Davis. Everybody's out there trying to figure out what their best deal is. So, that figures into players like Tiero and other players out there. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal for Trevin Brazil today. And so that's the one thing that you have to keep in mind. When you're talking about who's coming in next, everybody's trying to put together their best deal.
Yeah, and you mentioned Trevin Brazil. For those who don't know, he has entered the transfer portal. Doesn't seem like that any former Razorback will end up coming back to this program. But you also mentioned John L. Davis, who not only committed but signed with Arkansas. Rob Doster, who works for Field of 68, one of Jeff Goodman's co-workers, had this to say about what type of player he is and that could change a program in just a year.
I think he is the only guy in the portal this year that you circle and say he's a guy that could change change your program in a year, right? He's the only guy that I think you can bring in and you can circle him and you can say, yeah, he's going to be an All-American with the chance to be a first-team All-American that can put a team on his back and take him from being like good to win a league kind of a good. I think that he is that good of a player, and I think that that is why he's going to be getting what he's going to be getting if that deal comes through for him and Arkansas. Getting Nelly Davis would be the single biggest recruiting win in the transfer portal for anybody this year, and I don't think it's close.
Tommy, you asked a question to me earlier this week about who's going to handle the ball. It's going to be him. It's going to be Boogie Flynn. They might bring in another guy, but my whole thing was I don't want a freshman handling the ball in a postseason game or a clutch situation. I mean, we've just seen it time and time again. That rarely works. We saw it with veterans winning a national championship this year in UConn. You can have a freshman like Stephon Castle in the mix or another guy. You don't have your ball handlers as freshmen. That hasn't worked in 10 years. It's not going to change anytime soon.
I didn't get nervous when Moses Moody had the ball, but your point's made. But these are different freshmen, Ty, than what we've had around here. They just are. And I hope John L. Davis, is the type player that can put the team on his back, so to speak. I hope that he is the guy, perhaps, that's taking those shots. But we're a long way from that point. I mean, we're a long way from worrying about who's going to take that shot in an NCAA tournament game. Sounds to me like they got a lot of guys right now that are capable of making it, though.
Yeah, and John L's, that's a good example. There's no guarantee that he winds up here in Fayetteville. He still has the opportunity, if he chooses to do so, to try for the NBA, which other guys do, just because, again, you're still, and I'm forgetting when the pullout date is, but I think it's sometime in June, if I remember that right. But they still have the opportunity, if they choose to do so, to pursue an NBA career even after signing. So these things are not signed, sealed, and delivered. That it's not 100% done. It sounds like it's closer to that direction, but it's not.
I think it's done. And here's why. For the reasons Jeff Goodman articulated earlier, that the business of NIL, his deal, if it's true what's been reported, and I don't know that it is, but if it's true, that's guaranteed money, and he is not going to get that kind of guaranteed money in the NBA. He's just not. He's going to be a two-way player in all probability if he goes to the NBA, and he's not going to make $1 million if he does that. He's just not, and I think he probably will as a college player. And so that's why I do think it's done.
So you bring up NIL, and I know a lot of people have issues with NIL, and I get that. But I will say
unless you got all the money.
Yeah.
That's no big deal then.
And Arkansas, at least on the basketball side of things, seems to be in a good situation there. But I think about R.J. Davis for North Carolina coming back, the outstanding point guard for the Tar Heels. That was a first-team All-American, the ACC Player of the Year, that goes to the NBA if not for NIL. I think about Grant Nelson, who's coming back to Alabama. who Arkansas is going to have to deal with when he comes to Fayetteville, which is annoying because you would have loved to have him on your team, but he's back in Tuscaloosa because of NIL. And John L. Davis would probably have gone to the NBA after this year for FAU, but he's back because of NIL. So there are some benefits. I know it's hard to believe, but there are some benefits to NIL.
See, I think that's an interesting point. Matt Jones and I talked about this maybe a month ago as it relates to football, as it relates to quarterbacks. We were talking about Bo Nix, just for example, and some others too. Basketball, I think, and you're seeing it right now. Guys, I mean, the quality of play in college basketball is going to be better because there are players like John L. Davis and Nelson and some others who are going to play another year of college basketball because they got a better deal with NIL than they would in terms of what they might get in the NBA. So one of the it is an unintended consequence. I don't think this was part of the design, but one of the unintended consequences, and it's a good one, is that I do think there will be years, and next year may be one of them, where we look around the landscape, we see first 23, 24-year-olds out there making $1 million. But, boy, the quality of play is going to be pretty good. I mean, the quality of play has a chance to be really good.
And here's something to keep an eye on as well as we're discussing NIL, the revenue sharing that's probably coming down the pipe that all these athletic directors are preparing for. The SEC and Big Ten are starting to put things together, according to Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports, to a model that will shape into that. The opt-outs that we've seen. We haven't really seen it for NCAA tournament stuff, but we have seen it for bowl games. These high-caliber players that we're talking about, football, basketball, haven't really seen it for baseball either. When that eventually happens, I think there will be stuff within these contracts that don't allow for opt-outs. So that quality of play that you're discussing, not just in basketball, not just like we've seen in baseball, I think you'll still have that in postseason football too. At least that's the hope that they're trying to construct in right now is if you're going to get some of the television revenue too, you only get it if you play in these games, these postseason games.
Well, that's a different subject, but yes, that doesn't affect college basketball at all. But in terms of football, it will. Yes, you're right.
But I do think, and I don't think we're too far away. I'm hoping that it never reaches this point. We've seen it in football. And we've seen it even in a BCS type level game, even though the BCS is gone nowadays. But there will be a player that opts out before the NCAA tournament.
No, there won't.
It's coming. No, it will happen.
Not a good one. Not a good one for a team that's got a chance. No, there won't.
There will be a player that gets some terrible, probably the worst advice of his life, that thinks he is in a situation where he is better off preparing for the NBA draft than he is playing.
I'll give you a plus 500 right now that doesn't happen. How about that? I'll set it right now at plus 500.
How many years do I get? Do I get 50 years? 10 years?
Well, first off, NIL, as we know it right now, is going to go away within 24, 36 months.
Well, how soon do you think this is going to happen, Ty? And you're declaring there's going to be opt-outs in basketball. Well, tell us when it's going to happen.
There will be a player by 2030 that is, again, given the worst advice of his life, that decides, I'm not going to play in the NCAA tournament. I'm going to prepare for the NBA draft.
Way to put yourself out there.
In 6 years. So what do you want? I just asked what the parameters were, and you guys were speechless. What do you want? 2 years? 3 years?
Speechless because we don't believe
ever.
It's
How about ever?
Ever.
Yeah, ever.
That's a long time.
Until
Chuck.
the day you die, Ty. How about that?
Well, that probably is in 10 years. So for being
well, no, I mean you can live to be 100. Is my point. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
I hope you're right, but I think you're wrong. And we've seen it. Listen,
you are one who will make a dramatic overstatement on an issue, and this is just another one of them.
That doesn't sound like me. But again, I don't think many people thought that a kid would opt out of the freaking Fiesta Bowl, and it happened. The Fiesta Bowl, which is
Ty,
rich
you have to Ty. You're ignoring the college calendar. These kids opt out and make these decisions as these semesters end. You're not going to be able to do this in college basketball. You're just it from a timing standpoint, number one, it makes no sense. And number two, bowl games are not, unless you're in the playoff, bowl games are not the biggest game of the season. In fact, far from it. The NCAA tournament basketball games are the biggest games of the season.
Yes.
They're not going to opt out of those.
Yes.
There's no way.
There's truth to
Okay.
what you just said. You're just wrong. It's okay.
Well, all right, whatever you think. Let's just put it that way. Hey, this week on the Market Moment podcast, Lee, Matt, and Eli cover the latest news surrounding Elon Musk's visit to China. Tesla stock went up because of that. They also talk about the rising concerns over EVs and if we are heading into economic stagnation. You can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com to find out more. Mach 1 Financial Mach 1 Financial Group LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Rogers. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Tommy, I've got some good news. Charles Barkley has a clause in his contract. He was on ESPN Cleveland earlier this week that even if TNT was to not get NBA basketball rights moving forward, he would still be a part of coverage somehow.
I just signed a 10-year deal 2 years ago, but one of the things I did, I put an opt-out after a couple years in case if I wanted to go to Amazon or because we thought it was going to be Apple, to be honest with you. Okay. So the one thing I did in my new contract, I'm 2 years into a 10-year deal, and when I sit down, I said, wait a minute. Now, if you guys lose the NBA, I want to make sure that I can get out of here.
One of the biggest travesties in sports, if I was not allowed or anyone was not allowed to watch Charles during the NBA playoffs or just the NBA for that matter, but if TNT does not get this contract and NBC or another power broker gets it, he's still going to be talking NBA. I don't know if Ernie Johnson will be with him. Sounds like he might retire, but at least we'll still have Charles Barkley moving forward.
Oh, I never worried for a minute that they wouldn't be part of the coverage because that's their brand. And that's part of the NBA's brand, is that pregame show and halftime shows, that studio show. So, we commonly see announcers change teams too when league contracts move to another network. This will be another example if it unfolds like that.
Yep. So I'm curious to see what happens with the future of this like whole situation. But at least we'll have Charles one way or another talking NBA because, again, not just NBA, but anything under the sun.
The most notable in that, now is play-by-play and color, but, when Summerall and Madden moved over to Fox, I mean, they went right with that conference and right with that contract. So we've seen it before. Hey, you mentioned the Kentucky Derby this weekend, final weekend at Oakland. We got baseball. It's also Cinco de Mayo this weekend. If you're looking for a place to get out and have a great Tex-Mex meal and celebrate Cinco de Mayo, Joe's Grill and Cantina is going to be ready all weekend long with special deals beginning Friday, goes through Sunday. Joe's will be open on Sundays. Normally they're closed, but they'll be there for the celebration for everyone. Endless enchiladas all day Saturday, margarita and food specials going on all weekend, live music, and they'll have their annual taco eating contest as well. It's Cinco de Mayo this weekend, Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
All right, when we return, we'll talk about Arkansas baseball this weekend. Tommy mentioned the Kentucky Derby. They're in Lexington, too.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
What if you were driving down the road and there was a sign on the side of the road that says, Ty Richardson sucks?
I'd laugh.
Or, Ty, shut up and let somebody else talk. Wouldn't you, perhaps be inclined to wonder what the deal is?
I have thick skin, Chuck. Just roll off my back and take it off. But evidently, Tepper has thin skin. Tommy, I think we gave business owners across the state an idea. May have sparked.
You were looking for self-promotion. I just figured out what your intent was with that whole
with the Tepper
spiel.
thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm just calling out an arrogant, egotistical, over-the-top owner that thinks he can do anything because he's a billionaire. That doesn't fly with me. That's what I was doing. He's a bum.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he didn't sleep well last night. So.
Well, again,
I'm sure he tossed and turned.
That kid in Arkansas was really on me last night. I got to change my ways.
I respect the restaurant for putting out the new sign that says "Hats off" to the.
What was the name of the restaurant?
I couldn't tell you.
I can hear the level.
They're
of respect.
the big winners in all
Yeah.
this. Believe me, they're the real winners in all this. Is the restaurant?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of great foods, the final weekend for live racing at Oakline. Corned beef sandwiches, those hot dogs with a cold beer. Food's always as much a part of the attraction at Oakline as the racing itself. Live racing ends this Sunday. They'll always close it down with a Trails End race. That's where they go around twice. Start way back at the start of the stretch, come around the home stretch in front of the clubhouse, all the way around again to the finish line. It's an interesting race to end the meet. Of course, it's the Kentucky Derby. It all starts with the Kentucky Oaks on Friday, the Derby on Saturday, and they'll have special early post times as well throughout the weekend on Friday, 12:15, 12 noon on Saturday, and 12:30 on Sunday as well. If you haven't downloaded the Oakline Anywhere app, and I know for a lot of you, the Kentucky Derby might be the one race a year that you wager on, get the Oakline Anywhere app, and wherever you're at, you can watch and wager as well. That's the Oakline Anywhere app. Promo code RUSH24. Get you a $150 sign-up bonus. OaklineAnywhere.com.
Hagen Smith's going to start for you on Friday. That's not going to change. Tiger's getting inserted on Saturday because don't know about Mason Molina just yet. When asked about the pitching rotation, here's what Dave had to say for this weekend.
I would say right now, I'd probably go with the guy named Smith on Friday. And then on Saturday, probably Tiger, and we'll leave it TBA right now just to make sure that Molina's good to go. I imagine that's what he'd tell you.
So, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. That sounds like Molina's going to be your Sunday starter. I mean, unless they just all of a sudden see something that he just can't go or he has a change. I know sometimes during warm-ups or during something, a guy that thought he was ready doesn't go. But they also mentioned yesterday Ben Bybee is an option there, who had one of his better outings as a Razorback. But I think Molina's going to be back in this starting rotation, guys, for this weekend.
Sounds like it. Sounds like he'll be the starter for the final game.
Yeah. I heard Phil say yesterday that he had a good bullpen. So, I think you're on the right track there.
So, for Kentucky, again, that is one of the better teams in the SEC. They lead the SEC East. We talk about the biggest week. Who's it a bigger weekend for? Is it for Arkansas or is it for Kentucky? I think Kentucky struggled a little more than Arkansas recently. I would say this is a bigger series for the Wildcats than the Razorbacks. If you just get one, I think you take it.
Well, I don't mean to be flippant, but I think it's a bigger weekend for the media than it is for anybody else because you got some good matchups, first and second in each division. Look, you can have a great weekend this week. Arkansas could sweep this weekend. They could. Be great. Take over first place in the West. Crash and burn next weekend, burn even more the following weekend. This weekend won't even matter. Same for any of these other teams. They're big series, but I don't think they're any bigger for any team than any other team. Because you've got 6 more league games after this weekend, and as we speak right now, you got 9. So nothing's going to be decided this weekend. Nothing at all.
We're talking about Molina coming back from injury. This is a big weekend, I think, for Kendall Diggs, who has not been himself, even coming back. I mean, he hadn't been the same player that you expected. And I think also for Will McIntyre, who we rarely see him in midweek games, but we saw him for an inning on Tuesday. He hasn't been himself. He's gotten hit around a little bit these last 4 or 5 ball games in SEC play. You are not going to get to Omaha without those 2 veterans. It's not going to happen. Your bullpen has to have Will McIntyre as either the best or second best guy. He hasn't been that. And Kendall can't be not an automatic now, but just a guy that hasn't gotten on base like he typically does.
We have all of a sudden made perfection the standard. If they're not perfect, then there's problems. They're not going to get to Omaha. 39-7. When one guy slumps, another guy picks him up. That's what a team does. Your point's well made about those two guys. But it's not, I mean, we've talked about Diggs for, 2-3 weeks? Talked about McIntyre for a couple of weeks?
Mm-hmm.
How'd they do in those games? Pretty good.
They won.
So, that's the point, is that I agree with you. When and if they get to a Super Regional or Omaha, they're going to need more out of Diggs and McIntyre. I'm in full agreement there. But I don't think right now it's that big an issue.
Perfection is not the end goal for this baseball team. I'll agree, but Omaha is, and there were issues on that 2021 team that you brought up earlier, Tommy, that won 50 games, but we ignored those because they won every SEC series. So you're just presenting things that you wonder about as you get closer to the postseason.
Again, Ty, I'll go back to what I said a little earlier when we were talking about postseason play. Arkansas did not lose that series. North Carolina State won it.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's hard to accept, but that's what happened.
Big weekend on the water coming up. Largemouth bass are spawning, waiting on another full moon cycle coming up in May. And if you don't have the famous Yum Dinger in your boat, in your tackle box, that's a strategical error before you've even unloaded the boat off the trailer. Get by Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com. They make them in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes right here in Arkansas. It's the Yum Dinger by Pradco.
All right, when we return here on the Morning Rush, your SEC update, some moves in college basketball next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is ESPN college basketball analyst and former Razorback Jimmy Dykes, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about.
Summer is
14 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Peen G430 Max 10K driver. Peen's straightest and most forgiving driver. TaylorMade QI 10 Max woods and irons with 10K inertia, making it the most forgiving driver ever. And Cleveland Launcher XL2 woods and irons. Call Matt Brooks for a lesson, 646-4430. And start a new year with more confidence on the course. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
I know the Arkansas Razorback baseball team is in Lexington, Kentucky this weekend, but I'm still excited for the upcoming matchup in Rupp Arena as Kentucky's added 2 more guys to their roster. Kobe Bray, sharpshooter from Dayton, and also Andrew Carr from Wake Forest. You added John L. Davis, who signed with your basketball program, who we brought up too. Tommy, this seems like a back and forth. It's like a what's the old phrase? What's the old adage? Keeping up with the Joneses. Let's keep it up with Cal and Pope right now.
Yeah, got to keep up with the Razorbacks, and we're not done yet. Still got a lot. Where are we at? 5?
6.
5 on the roster. 6 now. It's time to really kind of see how they finish this thing out. About halfway through this roster construction, and got more of your staff in mind. It's kind of like watching Bob Ross paint. We've seen the corners. We've seen a few brush strokes up in the clouds. Now it's starting to make sense what he's painting here. We knew it was going to be a masterpiece. We're expecting a masterpiece at least. Now we're starting to get into focus what's going on.
You were kind of kicking it around with Chuck earlier, having some fun. It's like these baseball teams. Kentucky has to play the Razorbacks. Mississippi State has to play the Razorbacks. Texas A&M is going to have to beat the Razorbacks for the overall SEC West Division title, the final one of its kind in this edition of the Southeastern Conference, which you look at the recruiting. So I don't know if it's going to be that case in basketball because, again, it's going to be year one under Cal. But you got to beat out the Razorbacks for a recruit. That I know is for sure.
Well, particularly in the baseball conversation, let's not forget we're not chopped liver here. They're more, anxious about playing us than I think we are about playing a lot of teams right now. But we'll see. That's what it's fun too. Isn't it fun when you get into games of consequence? Isn't it fun when you have weekends that matter and you're in the midst of it? that's the fun part is you're doing something that matters right now. So that to me, you're not just playing a game, you're playing a game of consequence.
Different feeling that you had in football and basketball season. That's for dang sure. All right, that is your SEC update, and it's brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas. I think Tommy went out for a sec. I think he timed out for a sec. It's Burton Pools and Spas. They're celebrating their 46th anniversary right now. You're going to get discounts on above ground pool, in-ground pool, and semi-in-ground pool, and you've got some cheap hot tub options right now. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale, in Fort Smith. Go to burtonpools.com. Building more than just pools, building relationships. Tom, are you back with us?
I never quit hearing you. I guess something happened in the
technology.
in the connection. Yeah, but I'm telling you, that hot tub right now, great way to end the day. Day on the golf course, workout. I've got mine that I bought over at Burton's and absolutely love it. So pool's about ready, about open. 80 degrees yesterday. We're gonna have some pool weather pretty soon.
I've had a friend that just started doing ice baths. Have you ever done an ice bath? Apparently,
I've one. It wasn't a full body. I had a calf that was really bothering me, and I buried it in a trash can of ice water. And I think the ice bath hurt worse than the injury.
A 3-minute ice bath apparently speeds up the metabolism, is what he's been reading.
A what ice bath?
A 3-minute.
Oh, 3-minute ice bath.
A 3-minute ice bath, he said, speeds up the metabolism's what he's been. He's already a rail stick to begin with, but he wants to keep it that way. So that is what he's been doing, and he's seen results. He's added muscle and he's lost bad weight too. So curious if that's something.
No, your body will burn up a lot of calories to stay at your core temperature. So I mean, ice baths will help do that. But it's more about muscle recovery. But no, that is part of it. And if you get out hunting or you're snow skiing or doing something where you're outdoors an extended amount of time in the winter, and you get the shivers and the shakes trying to warm up, you'll notice you drop a few pounds then.
So we mentioned
I need to spend more time up north, I think.
Yeah,
and then not get eaten by a bear or something.
Yeah, stay away from those. We mentioned the 6 players again that you've got now on the roster. I wonder, Adu Tierra was in town this week, and I wonder if we see a commitment and signing from him anytime soon. Again, I pushed the idea of getting a role players and shooters. Not that you couldn't add another star or two. I just don't want to see a roster that's all scorers and all 4 and 5 stars. That's not going to work. I don't think it's, and maybe Cal can make it work, and I'll be wrong, which I'll be happy to be wrong in March if it works. But you have to find the right pieces, and he's gotten against some scorers, some talented freshmen to start. Now you've got to add some guys that can space the floor around them so they have places to get to the hole, and some guys that are willing to do the dirty work, rebound, block, play defense, and I think Tierra could be one of those guys if he winds up becoming an Arkansas Razorback. Again, I think you can maybe see some news maybe today, maybe this week, that could tell us that case. Tommy, by the way, Cal's home is for sale in Lexington. 8 bathrooms. I was reading the Zillow report.
Can't ever have too many bathrooms, Ty. 8
bathrooms, man. And it has 5 bedrooms, but 8 bathrooms. That is...
Man, that's good because, when you have guests over to your house, you don't want to have to send them into your bedroom to use the John. So having extra bathrooms, you can't. It's like having too much ice and too many tickets. It's not possible.
Do you feel bad about doing something else at your buddy's bad, like going number 2? Do you feel bad going number 2 at your buddy's place? Is that something that you or will you just refuse to do that, or does it matter?
Just go home.
Yes. Hey, I gotta leave. I gotta dip out.
Yeah.
I gotta do something. Christian,
we're off the air. I gotta go. Something's wrong at the tower site.
All right, JD is in Spiro this morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Not only is Arkansas in Lexington, but the Kentucky Derby is in Louisville. What's up, JD?
I tell you, I hadn't called in about 5 years. I'm just a constant radio listener, but I got to looking at that Kentucky Derby, coming up this Friday. And I got to thinking about Arkansas playing Kentucky, so I look at we get to see our second Derby with Arkansas against Kentucky.
Did you get that, Tommy? Sorry, JD, I didn't get the last part of what you said.
Trying to follow
I said it looks like we get to watch Arkansas play Kentucky, so I'm calling that the second Derby we get to watch this
the
week.
second
I
Derby.
got you
I
now.
thought the Derby was on Saturday. Is it Friday?
No, the Kentucky Oaks is on Friday. The Kentucky Derby is on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully it'll
Well,
be.
I look at it this way, you know. I knew we had at least a 70% chance of taking 2 from them. Then got our third starter coming back, so I'm giving us about 80% to pull a sweep down there.
Well, hopefully Molina's himself. I know that, again, getting, not BP, whatever he's doing, some drill or something that he messed up, tweaked his ankle. I think it was what it was. I'm paraphrasing what Dave said. But, yeah, you'd love to see him get back into form. They're going to need him when it comes to postseason. You'd like to have him back. And I don't know, what I'm going to find curious is, like, Tiger's played really good these last 2 games, right? 2 6+ inning performances. Do you keep Tiger in that spot if he keeps pitching like he does? Does Molina stay where he was at the beginning of the season, that third spot, that third guy as a starter? I don't know. I've just been wondering about that. I think it just I would say it probably depends on what Tiger does these next 3 series. But if Tiger nails in Lexington, he's rock solid against Mississippi State, and then he does it again against A&M, I'd leave him there, Tommy.
How much difference do you think that makes, whether he pitches in game 2 or 3?
I think it's everything. You close out.
It's everything?
You close out. If he's pitch, I mean, you have a chance to close out a super regional. You have a chance to get to basically a game in Omaha.
I'm just not sure there's enough difference between Molina and Tiger. Molina's been the better of the two over the preponderance of their work this season, but we don't know what he's going to be like coming off this ankle. I don't know that there's enough difference to say that it's everything. I wouldn't go that far.
If Molina comes back and he's still reeling from his injury and Tiger's pitching really well, you definitely leave him in there. It depends how these next 3 weekends. And that, yes, if you lose a game 2 when you could have won it and then move on, that could be the difference between you being in Omaha and not with your starter's performance.
I doubt we're going to put it all on one player.
No, it's not. I mean, you got other guys. You got bullpens. You got hitters.
You're kind of loading up if they lose, and they haven't, then it would be the starting pitcher's fault. This team still, they've had timely hits, but not, they've had timely hits in spots, but, against the better competition, that's the thing to really watch over these last 3 weeks. And again, they're 39-7. We're picking at threads here. Or as a buddy of mine likes to say, we're trying to get the fly poop out of the pepper. We're looking really fine. The fly poop out of the pepper. Try to find that. I mean, we're picking at the smallest of stuff here with the team that's a consensus top 2 or 3 team.
Yeah, but do you know why we're doing that? Because we
don't have anything else to do.
Because they want to win they want to win a championship. Every fan listening wants to win a championship.
Most of the people that are yapping and complaining and talking don't know what they're talking about.
No, here's what I will say to the not the pushback, but the just questions or the wonderings of those is I brought up 2021. Like that team looked like on paper there was every bit.
But this isn't the 2021 team, Ty. This is a different team.
But we don't. But again, that was a team just like this team that, for all intents and purposes, looked like they were a national championship caliber team, which has not happened in Arkansas, which is why they're not a blue blood school in baseball, because they haven't won a single national championship. They don't have one on the resume. That's what Arkansas, the only thing preventing Arkansas becoming that is adding that to the resume. That's what Dave Van Horn, we don't want him to be Mike Martin when it's all said and done. So yes, there are fans
What did Chuck tell you earlier about that 21
listen,
season?
I could not disagree with anything more that Chuck said.
Well, you didn't say that.
You are
then.
not the number one. We were at a break. You had to do a read.
Mm-hmm.
We were the number 1 team all season. Saying that North Carolina State won that when you're in your home ballpark.
They were going to win the national title, but haven't for
your
COVID.
home ballpark, number 1 team all season. Give me a break.
Come on.
Give me a break. They didn't. You lost that series. No question about it. You lost it straight up. They didn't win it. Yeah. You lost it. You're the number 1 team all year.
Well, you may be wrong, but you're never in doubt. That's for sure.
Well, you can have your opinion. I'll have mine. If you think the number 1 team in the country didn't lose that series, I don't know where to help you, Tommy. I really don't.
Well,
all right, I want to tell you.
The game.
I did. I watched them lose Game 3 and choke away as the number 1 team in the country that didn't lose an SEC series all year. Hey, I want to tell you about this event going on in Greenwood this weekend. Our friend Peter Morgan at American Patriot Promotions would like to give away some free passes for this weekend. So if you're interested and going to the Greenwood event, then call us right now at 877-377-6963. That's 877-377-6963. It's this Saturday and Sunday at Greenwood. Again, the American Patriot Promotions event going on right now. There's going to be gun displays. There's going to be all these different things that you need to check out. Again, if you want to win any of these passes, we got 5 to give away. Each pass allows 2 free admittance. Again, 877-377-6963. For Chuck Barrett, for Tommy Kraft, for Big C, I'm Ty. Back in these chairs tomorrow at 6 a.m.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Ty, that's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade. So now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. Just